Other construction projects have created disruptions in access to certain areas of campus. We talked with Auraria Facilities Management to talk about the updates and when we can expect to see those projects wrap up.
Cool, thanks. Lots of maintenance going on campus. We'll be doing painting in some public restrooms that are hard to get into based on activities and classes. So we'll take advantage of the break to get into some of those. Haven't really defined exactly which ones yet because a lot of that depends on what special events and activities end up getting booked for spring break. So we'll take advantage of the opportunity as it's available from a painting perspective. When we think about plumbing, we'll be cleaning some campus mains. So mains from the building out to Denver infrastructure. We'll be doing some cleaning there. We'll be doing some steam trap work for the PE building as well as Cherry Creek over winter break from our plumbing department. And then also doing some work in the Early Learning Center, also drain cleaning there. Hard to get into with lots of the little kiddos around all the time. And then doing some tempering valve adjustment to make sure that we're in tolerance and in line with water temperature from a plumbing perspective. From a structural perspective, we'll be doing some floor replacements in three buildings on Ninth Street Park. So in the restrooms, same thing, trying to take advantage of hard to get to locations during spring break. Doing some ceiling tile replacement in a couple of classrooms, science specifically in a couple of other buildings. They're going to complete, we have a new initiative going on campus to put sharps containers in all of the first floor restrooms campus-wide, and then in most public restrooms within the Tivoli, and then public restrooms within the library. We'll be wrapping up that installation over spring break. We've been doing that early mornings since really the start of the semester, winter break time frame, and we'll be wrapping that up over spring break. From an access control perspective, we'll be doing lots of preventative maintenance, so ensuring locks, closers, doors are operating appropriately from a security perspective, and then doing some testing on those systems as well to make sure that everything's working. Grounds is going to be busy. We're preparing for the coming growing season, so we'll be doing some emergent fertilization on campus to prepare. We'll be doing some tree replacements around campus, a couple by King Center and a handful of other areas. We'll get some new trees. We'll be remulching lots of the mulch beds and preparing for plant growth going forward. Hopefully we don't get any snow. If we do, we'll be pushing snow all over campus per normal every time that it snows. So from an HVAC perspective, we'll be doing an evap pan replacement in Central. Just old equipment that is at the end of its useful life, so we'll be replacing that. We have a chilled water coil also in the Central air handling unit area that needs to be replaced, so we'll be replacing that over spring break. And then they're going to be doing some critical alarm testing in the science building, really testing some safety showers, eye washes, and then other critical alarms in the buildings. We have some O2 sensors and then some freezer alarms for principal investigators in the research labs that we'll be testing as well. From a project perspective, still pretty busy. Most of our big construction projects, as all the students know, they just kind of roll regardless of what's going on. We take our area, do our thing, but specifically over spring break, we have some intersection work for 11th and Auraria Parkway intersection. Excel needs to come back out and finish up some electrical work there, so they are scheduled for the week of spring break to do that, which will allow us to complete some landscaping, hardscape, and minor cleanup work to wrap up that project in early spring. So that's kind of our jumping point to finish up landscaping there. We have 2 power outages scheduled in the North Classroom building over spring break. One is this coming weekend, 18th through the 19th, and then we have another one on the 25th. That is to really support switchgear replacement in that building as part of that project. We have some manhole work at a plaza steam vault. So we need to go in and replace some electrical disconnects for the steam condensate pumps that really pump that to sanitary sewer. So we need to replace some electrical in that manhole. And then we have a deferred maintenance project where we're replacing all of the water control valves in Plaza as well. So we'll be doing that, kind of looking forward for big project stuff. MSU Denver's Engineering and Sciences building is getting close to completion. Still expecting that to wrap up right around the end of this fiscal year, so June 30th of 2017. And then should start to see structural steel coming for CU Denver's new wellness building right at the tail end of spring break, so early April, late March, we're expecting structural steel to start showing up for that building. So you'll stop seeing us playing in the dirt and we'll start coming up out of the ground on that building going forward. So those are probably the two biggest, most visible projects that are out there and what's coming. It really comes down to critical need most of the time and what is ready and what's funded. Because really when we look at our project portfolio, I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but we have about 160 rolling small projects on campus all the time that we're doing. And this can be anything from carpet paint replacement in an office or a suite up to an area renovation within a building, all the way up to a new building or major renovation within an existing building. So really that project schedule kind of dictates when things happen, but we tend to look at our most impactful projects and try to plan major utility outages, electrical outages around break periods as much as possible. Sometimes we're not afforded that ability, so then we'll kick that to a least disruptive time frame as possible. Saturday evening really into Sunday morning. So we ask our contractors to work really some unreasonable hours from midnight until 6, 7 a.m. in the morning. Well, they'll pull a graveyard shift to pull off that work. Yeah. But it really just kind of varies because, I mean, right now we have about $100 million in active design and construction on campus, and I've been here almost 5 years in my current role and capacity, and we've only had about a time frame of about 3 months where we haven't had that type of volume on this campus. So we are in a building boom,
Constant state of
building and renovating.
Awesome.